verse isn't describing the sky, but quietly describing how reality is being held together right now. At first glance, it sounds cosmic. Heavens, sun, moon, throne. But look closer, it's almost like the verse is shifting your attention from what you see to what you don't see. Raise the heavens without pillars that you see. It doesn't say without pillars. It says, without pillars that you see. That's subtle, but powerful. It's like saying, you're surrounded by structure, but it's invisible. Today, we might call it gravity, fields, forces, laws of physics, things you can't touch, but everything obeys. So the verse isn't just poetic. It's pointing to a deeper pattern. The world looks stable, but its stability comes from something hidden. Then it zooms out even more. The sun and the moon, each pursuing an appointed course. Think about that. Nothing in the sky is random. Everything is moving, but in precise paths. Like a perfectly synchronized system, where chaos is only an illusion from the inside. And then, almost quietly, it shifts again. He directs all affairs. Not just the stars. All affairs. That includes things we usually separate: cosmos, life, events, timing, outcomes. It's like the verse is collapsing the distance between the movement of galaxies and what's happening in your life. Same system, same author. And then comes the part most people rush past. He makes his signs clear, so that you may be certain of meeting your Lord. Why mention the sky, just to talk about meeting God? Because the point was never astronomy. It's recognition. The verse is building a chain in your mind. Invisible order, right pointing arrow, precise movement, right pointing arrow, unified control, right pointing arrow, clear signs. So that one conclusion feels unavoidable. If everything is structured, directed, and meaningful, then your existence isn't random either. And if your existence isn't random, then maybe your end isn't random too. So here's the twist. Maybe this verse isn't trying to prove that God controls the universe. Maybe it's asking a more unsettling question. If you can trust the unseen forces that hold the stars in place, why do you struggle to trust the unseen meaning behind your own life? What if the verse isn't trying to teach science, but to quietly reframe how you see reality itself? It's tempting to read it like a hidden physics textbook. Invisible pillars, right pointing arrow, gravity. Precise orbits, right pointing arrow, celestial mechanics. And yes, those parallels are there. But pause for a second. The verse was heard by people who had no equations, no telescopes, no models. Yet it still worked on them. Why? Because it's not giving you data. It's giving you a way of noticing. The sun and the moon, each pursuing an appointed course. That line doesn't sound like a formula. It sounds like a pattern you can feel. Look up at the sky, even today. Everything moves. But nothing collides randomly. Nothing wanders aimlessly. It's motion, with discipline. Now here's where it gets deeper. Modern physics describes this with laws, equations, predictability. But those are descriptions of the behavior. The verse is pointing to the meaning behind the behavior. It's like the difference between knowing the code of a software and realizing there is a programmer. So is it revealing a scientific secret? Maybe not in the way we usually think. It's not saying, here's a new discovery. It's saying, you're already surrounded by something astonishing, and you've normalized it. The real secret isn't that the sun has an orbit. It's that everything obeys. Everything submits to a path it didn't choose. Except one thing, you. And that's where the verse quietly turns from cosmos to you. If the sun never deviates, if the moon never rebels, then what does it mean that you can? So maybe the verse isn't revealing how the universe works. Maybe it's revealing your position inside it. Let's strip it down to something almost uncomfortable. Why would laws of physics have anything to do with meeting your Lord? At first, it feels like a jump. Cosmos right pointing arrow accountability. Stars right pointing arrow afterlife. Not obviously connected, but look at the logic chain the verse is building. Start simple. You observe a universe that is stable without visible supports, governed by consistent laws full of precise, repeatable motion. This gives you your first conclusion. The system is not random. It is ordered. Now go one step deeper. Order at this scale is not occasional. It's universal. Everything obeys. So the next inference is, this order is not local. It's comprehensive. Now the key shift: if there is a comprehensive, consistent order governing everything you can observe, then two possibilities exist. It's self-explaining, it just is. With no underlying cause or authority, it is grounded in a unifying source of control, or will the verse is clearly pushing toward the second. But it doesn't stop there. It adds, He directs all affairs. That's a critical expansion. Not just physical systems, all affairs. So now the claim becomes, the same source that governs celestial motion also governs events, outcomes, existence itself. Now here's the logical bridge to the final statement: if the system is ordered, the order is universal, and the governance extends beyond physics into all affairs, then it becomes irrational to assume that human existence is the only domain without purpose, direction, or resolution. In other words, you cannot consistently believe the universe runs on precise, non-random structure, but your life ends in randomness, with no conclusion or accountability. That would be a contradiction in worldview. So the verse resolves that tension with, so that you may be certain of meeting your Lord, not as a poetic leap, but as a logical completion. Here's the twist: the verse isn't using physics to prove the afterlife directly. It's doing something more precise. It's removing the intellectual comfort of believing that everything is ordered, except your fate. What if the verse isn't hiding a secret code, but is built like a message that works on multiple levels at once? Think about it. An illiterate person hears, the sky stands without visible pillars, the sun and moon move in order. He understands, there is unseen support, there is order, this is not random. That's already a complete, meaningful insight. Now a scientist hears the same words, but his mind fills in different layers: forces, fields, orbital mechanics, constants, equations. Same sentence, different depth of decoding. But here's the key: the verse didn't change, the observer changed. It's like looking at a simple drawing. A child sees a shape. An engineer sees geometry, symmetry, structure. So is there a hidden scientific code inside it? Maybe not in the sense of specific discoveries waiting to be extracted. It's more precise than that. The verse is intentionally open-textured. It points to patterns in reality, invisible structure, ordered motion, unified control, patterns that a simple mind can recognize intuitively and a trained mind can explore analytically. That's a very different design from a textbook. A textbook becomes outdated. This kind of language scales with knowledge. And here's where it gets really interesting. If a text keeps revealing more coherence the more you understand the world, then it's not just giving answers. It's acting like a mirror. The deeper you understand reality, the deeper the verse seems. So the code might not be in the words. It might be in the relationship between the words and a universe that keeps unfolding. And that raises a strange question. Is the verse teaching you about the world, or is the world slowly teaching you how to read the verse? What if the most important part of the verse isn't what it says about the sky, but what it quietly assumes about you. Think about how the verse works. It doesn't argue like a philosopher. It doesn't prove like a scientist. It just points. Look up, look at order, look at what holds everything together without being seen. And then it does something subtle. It assumes you're capable of connecting the dots. That's the real premise. Not that the universe is ordered, but that you can recognize order and follow it to meaning. Because here's the deeper layer. Two people can look at the exact same sky. One sees laws of physics, the other sees signs, the data is identical. The conclusion is not. So the difference isn't in the universe. It's in the reader. And maybe that's why the verse ends with certainty about meeting your Lord. Not because the evidence forces you, but because if you follow the pattern honestly, you eventually run out of places to stop. You either say, "This all just is," or you allow the question to go one step further. And here's the final twist. Maybe certainty isn't something the verse gives you. Maybe it's something that happens when you stop interrupting the conclusion.